Morning, Ralph.
Good morning.
I guess we start with the sad news of the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. You know, clearly a really challenging time for this country and for football as they called off the games last weekend. This is the first time we've had the opportunity to speak to you. You've been in the UK for a number of years. You would have known and appreciated what she meant to this country and to football as well. She was a huge sports fan. Just what are your thoughts on how things have been dealt with by football and how difficult this time has been for everyone connected to the sport?
Yeah, at first I must say that yes, I'm here now nearly 4 years, and I learned this country. Meanwhile, in all circumstances, in pandemic and in such situations. And I must say that you can be very proud of the people that are living here, because the way they show the respect for a wonderful person, for a very long term where she was being in duty and serving for this country. And the way you show the respect is something, I must say, impressive, very special. All over the world, I haven't seen something similar, to be honest. And I was in a lot of countries living and working. So it was for me absolutely clear decision not to play football on last weekend. And I would also completely understand if we wouldn't play on this weekend, because there is a special moment for this country. And it is, as I said, for me, very impressive to see how the people are reacting, how they are showing their respect. They are not forced to queue for 20 hours to say goodbye to her. They simply want to do it, and this is something very, very special, I must say, and very impressive for me. And you can be very proud of the situation you are living in this country.
And I presume that the football club will be marking and remembering her in the right way over the course of the next few days as they lead up to her funeral.
There are some plans in place for the weekend, and we will all be thinking about her, and the whole weekend is sure a chance for everybody to show his respect, and this is what we will do.
Almost feels insignificant to talk about football and a match, but things move on. Clearly, Aston Villa will be a huge challenge, and they haven't had the best start to the campaign, but the fact that they picked up a point against Manchester City, does that underline how dangerous they could be as an opponent?
This is not a question about the quality of this team. They are full of high individual quality in the team, and after a not so easy start, what is normal in the Premier League, they are starting to play better. And I think the last game against Man City showed how good they can be at home. And for us, we had some very good games there in the past, and last year was maybe one of the not so good ones for us, and we want to do the things much better than last season. I think it was maybe the worst away game we had last season, and for us a good chance to show that we can do it better.
What's the team news ahead of the weekend?
So far we had everybody in the training. I mean, apart from Livramento and Romeo, they are still out, and the rest is training with the team. I think we had a good week with using the time after the last game. It was a little bit strange because we prepared for an opponent, and then you prepare for a next opponent without seeing if it worked or not. So we can use a few things in set pieces, in open game for this game. And this was the challenge in the last days. And we had, as I said, good sessions with a team that is really working hard, and we are prepared hopefully for tomorrow.
One final question from myself. There's been a lot of talk over the course of the last couple of days with regards to the Chelsea owner's comments, Todd Boehly, on an all-star match, a North v South thing, and an opportunity to raise money for the football pyramid and various other commercial and whatnot opportunities. As someone that's come into English football relatively in the last few years, how do you view his comments? Do you think there is an opportunity to perhaps make money or to put on some kind of a showpiece event, or is this just pie in the sky?
I think in general it's normal when somebody new comes that he has his own ideas. This is, I think, something not surprising one, but my opinion about that is relatively clear. I'm not a fan from any playoffs, from any relegation or champion playoffs. This is something what I will never accept in football, because a Premier League title or a Premier League relegation is maybe the most honest thing in the world, because you are working the whole year, and if you're not good enough, you relegate. If you're good enough, you become champion. This is the key, and it shouldn't ever change. About the rest, I think we don't need to make football more colorful than it is so far, because it is for me the most interesting sport. Maybe because I'm working in this business, but it is for me maybe a sport that emotions the most people in the world, and this is why I don't see the reason to make it even more colorful. Even we don't need to discuss about the time, but we don't have, because of all the games we having out there. And I'm there a little bit with Jürgen, who was absolutely against any new games, and because we all see the challenge for the players. I know that everybody wants to see them playing. Me too, but I want to see the best players, and I want to see them healthy, coming on the pitch and showing and giving them the chance to have the best performances. And this is, I think, easier possible with not so many games.
Cool. What did Villa do so well in their last game against City? How did they give them such a tough game?
Yeah, I think they have been aggressive. They have been defensively very solid. And this is the way you can let Man City sometimes struggle, but you have to have a very good game over 90 minutes, and they showed that they can do this. And this is still a team that also can play football in the right spaces, when you give them the time there. And this is what they've shown last time against us. Then they can hurt you definitely. They changed a little bit the shape. They changed a little bit now. The behaviors in the players are a few different now on the pitch, like in the last game we played against them. But especially at home, they will have they want to light the atmosphere, and therefore they need to come out and be active, and this is what we have to expect.
You mentioned the last game at Villa Park. All three games you've had at Villa Park have been a bit peculiar. Lots and lots of goals too. Might it be tighter this weekend, do you think?
If I would know this, I would go in somewhere else to get money from this, but I don't know it. I think it will be a very intense game anyway, so this is for sure. I don't see always happen that many goals, but we will see.
Tell me about the good news about Moussa Djenepo signing a new contract. What I don't know how long he had left, but why now, and how good a piece of news is it?
Yeah, I think we know that we have now a very young team, but we also need in the future a few stabilities in the squad. I think this is also important, and I think Moussa, with his especially character in the dressing room and also his positive attitude in the team, he's a very lively factor in this group, and this is also a player who learned to be flexible in all his challenges he had so far. I think meanwhile he played 3 or 4 positions in the team, and this is exactly the kind of player we like to see here. And I'm sure he's still not on his absolutely limit from his quality and from his performances. So I think there's still a lot to come for him, and that's the reason why we were looking forward to sign him a new contract.
He didn't play very much last year, and you mentioned this year he's had obviously to play left back. The way he has reacted to disappointments and challenges and things you've asked him to do. How important is that side, the character side and attitude?
I think it's more and more important in football. We are living in a very quick changing world, and I think you have to be especially careful that you have in this part always people around. They are really taking care about their club you're playing for, and this is in the future for me one of the, especially for the players, they want to stay here longer. The most important part that they really care about the club. They try to give everything as long as they are here, and I think for Musa it is a role model example for the effort he puts in and for the positivity he brings in the club.
And as far as sort of feeling positive, I wondered about Romeo, who started so well the start of the season, his performances. There was talk of a £50 million bid even. He scores his first goal as well, so he's right up here. Then he gets injured. How has he been sort of meant? How is he coping with this roller coaster that he's experienced already?
Tough for him. You can see it. It's not easy because it feels like a full break after a very, very good start, and it is like this. But this setback, I think, is always a chance for especially players that are coming in here to scan your body, to scan your deficits you have, and then maybe work on this in this time when you're out now. And I think this is always the chance. And I've seen, as I often speak about it, a lot of players using this time for coming back even stronger physically, especially that he can play a good football. I think he has shown the last 5 games where he was playing, but now he has to adapt his body to get better prepared for this tough league, and this is a good chance for him, and I'm sure he will grab it.
On a similar theme, I think Tino posted a video that he's back running. Have you seen an extra spring in his step, if you like, a bigger smile on his face?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the players want to be out there, and as long as they are not there, they are not happy. And as soon as they see the ball in the green grass, and they are more positive, it's normal, because you don't want to do anything else than performing on the pitch. And no, it looks good without being too euphoric. I think we are in good time schedule with him with the return to the team. So everything looks quite good in the moment. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ralph, it's a big ground, big stadium, big fans at Aston Villa. We're going to have this emotional outpouring before the game, and you're the first game back, like you were after COVID in the Premier League. So the atmosphere is going to be huge at kick-off. Back in March, they blew you away in the first 45 minutes. How do you get your young team to make sure that doesn't happen again and to deal with that atmosphere, because it's going to be mostly home fans roaring?
Yeah, but I think we have shown in the last games that especially the young lads that were coming in, they're very brave and not caring about the quality of the Premier League. They want to show their qualities, and there's I think not a big problem for me to motivate them to. You say that it's a good park. It's a good ground. I love this stadium, to be honest. It's a beautiful traditional football ground. Even when you go there, and it is what you think about when you think about English football, and this is really lovely. But the rest is about performing, and we are not going there for looking at a beautiful ground. We are going there for showing how good we can be, and I think we will do it in a hopefully very, very committed and clear way that we show our qualities.
Shea Adams was named in the latest Scotland squad, of course. I'm interested in how he's been, because without buying a striker at the end of the window, he becomes a really important player still in the team, and he has to get over that miss at Wolves and everyone talking about it afterwards on the television programmes and everything. How's he been in the last 2 weeks responding to all that?
Absolutely good. I think what we have done this season was to find the best role for him, to make him as strong as possible, and therefore he's very thankful for this. But in the end, he knows that he has to make the goals for us. Not only him, but especially him. and yeah, he feels very good in this role he has to play in the moment, I think, and that's the reason why his performances are good, his chances are there, and I'm sure that in the future there will be also coming the goals.
A word about your captain. We're waiting for the England squad to be announced. I spoke to him this week about how he feels he's done enough to get closer to selection for the England squad, and the World Cup's around the corner. How important is this for James to be in this England squad, and for him and his own morale and everything, because he's such a pivotal player?
Massively important, for sure, not only for him, for every player, and we will see that we will have also some other surprises after announcing the internationals, because we have some interesting player in our squad, and you will see that there will be another few very interesting announcements.
That's right.
Okay. Move on to the section embargo for the 10:30 season. Start with Benji.
Yeah, Ralph, obviously very good news about Moussa Djenepo. Are there other contract discussions with other players who are nearing the end of their deals?
Yes, I think we are never stopping doing this. You must always be in touch with the players you want to have in your club, and you want to stay in your club. And yeah, I think important is that we show our way that we want to go, and then they show their commitment.
And I guess Moussa Djenepo is kind of an example for everyone, because he did exactly that. He, as we discussed earlier, he didn't really have a lot of opportunity last season, but this season he really grasped his chance at a position that wasn't his most natural. That must be, I guess, a sign for what everyone else needs to do.
Absolutely. I mean, we had a lot of players in the past not always playing, but very important for this club, and I think this is another role model, if you want. This season, I think Moussa showed that he can play also on the left back position in a very good way. Here now we have with Juan a new player, so it will not happen that often. I think that he has to play there again, so we can use him more up front, where his natural position there, left or right, and therefore he needs to score goals. He needs to show his qualities in 1-against-1, and that he has these qualities, and then these qualities can still be developed. We all know.
And I mean, you might know this, but British fans tend to be pessimists first before they're optimists. And I know a lot of supporters are still thinking about last season's 4-0 defeat to Aston Villa. Do you see this as, I guess, an opportunity to show that this team is sort of starting fresh, or do you go into it with any sort of that same kind of nervousness?
No, I would prefer the first opportunity. What you said, that it is a good chance for us to show a different face there, and I think I always like to go there, to be honest. And the years before, we had massive games that we have won 3-1, 4-3, I think, something like that. And it were really good games, one of our best away games every year.
I'm sure you might have noticed, but down the road in Bournemouth, there's some news brewing at the moment about their ownership situation. No interest in asking you about that, but you've obviously dealt with a change of ownership yourself. You just had the first summer under Sport Republic. It must be quite nice to have a settled situation in the background, a club that seemingly is willing to back you financially and in terms of your ideas.
Yeah, I mean, it is not my job to select them. It's the job of our CEO, and I think Martin did a fantastic job to bring in fantastic people, and people they are really caring about this club, not only financially, also with their knowledge and with their football knowledge. And I think this is a very good combination. They, on the one side, let us do our job. On the other side, really support us from the background, and without wanting to push in the big picture, they are there, and it is absolutely positive for me and phenomenal to see how we were in this short term coming together and growing together, and we try to be the people. They make the daily work, if you want. But in the background, you always need people. They support you with their knowledge and with all the other things. And this is something that worked quite well so far, and there is no reason why it shouldn't get better in the future.
And I mean, it is obviously just their first summer. I know even for people who clearly know a lot about football and what they're doing, I feel like every new relationship can have growing pains. Do you feel after this first summer window that you're now with Sport Republic in a better position to go forward for future transfer windows, or was it all just kind of seamless from the start?
Yeah, we are definitely in a better position. I mean, I think this is the first transfer window we didn't have to sell the best players before we buy new ones. We could buy not the superstars. This was never the goal for us, but we want to buy the Romeos, the Bela Kuchops of this world for a money what is for us in the past not possible. And meanwhile, it's not a problem anymore. And this is, I think, a very healthy way. And when you speak about Romeo or these guys, as soon as they are playing for us, the value is exploding because we see them performing on the highest level. Even enough to get a chance to play in the Premier League lifts their value massively, and this is the reason why we are hunting for these players. And meanwhile, I think everybody knows what a special place we are here for these players.
And I mean, you obviously brought in quite a few players, and that meant that some had to leave. I think 13 players left on loan. How does that work throughout the season? Are you just in conversation with Danny Butterfield and others, or do you go? Do you watch their games, anything like that?
We get a report every week after every week what is normal, I think, and we are also watching them. I mean, we have a few players now in the championship, and they do quite well. Nathan Teller scored goals. Will Smallbone is always playing. This is exactly what we wanted them to do, and we have them on our radar, and we are very happy that they get the chance to play.
No, fantastic. And just lastly, I mean, Jan Valery is one of the players who left permanently, and he had a pretty big chance in preseason. Started the first game of the season. Now he's gone, and I mean, I think everyone just wants to see him have a great career. But how difficult of a decision was it to let him go, having been at the club for quite a long time?
Yes, it was not easy, but I think he was always a very respectful character, and especially in the last 2 years, he had a massive change also in his character because was getting the father, and so you can see that does something with a young person, and I think for him to go back to France was a very big chance, and we didn't let him down there and try to help him, to support him the same what we did with Romeo, a guy who is always here respectful and working hard for his club, gets all the support he needs to get from us.
To follow up on that, that must be another reason why you feel Southampton is a good place for players to come, because it seems like you'll help sort of, if they're good characters, you'll help them with their wishes, whether that does mean leaving at some point or new contracts, etc.
In the first part, they should be good footballers. That helps massively to feel home here and to help us. But absolutely, the other part, I think. When you are a little bit longer manager, like I am now, then you see also sometimes more the bigger picture to help them and to support them in their life. And I think there's also something what is our task to do, and we know this, and everybody in my staff and around the players will support them.
Cheers,
Thank you.
I was reading the interview that Ainsley Maitland-Niles gave to the club when he signed. He was talking about sharing his experiences with a relatively young dressing room and maybe putting his arm around some of the young players as well. Was that part of the attraction when you signed him?
No, this is for me never important. I mean, I know that in England the quality of the dressing room is something very high rated. I like the quality on the pitch much more because in the dressing room, when you look meanwhile in the dressing room, so because you just speak about it. Last time I was walking through, I think 8 out of 10 were sitting on their smartphones and don't talk to each other. So only that you know how it looks in modern times sometimes. So it's I don't say that this should be always like this. The smartphones were going immediately away when I was entering, but it is not like it was before. There are sometimes unique companies are thinking single environments, but in the end, we have to to bring them together and to work as a team on the pitch. And I think for me, it's most important to see them supporting each other on the pitch. I think this is why they are here for. And sure, it is not negative when you are beside the pitch, also friend with each other and spending time together. But it is not the key that they have to do this. For me, the respect on the pitch and to fight for each other is the much more worth thing than talking much in the dressing room with each other. This is not what I need to see from them.
Tell me about his abilities as a footballer then. What do you see in Maitland-Niles that can improve the team?
I think he's a very good player on the ball, but he has to learn that our game starts when the ball is not with us. And I think this is something he had never need to do in the clubs maybe he was playing in. But meanwhile, in modern football, this is a very crucial part, and you can see that this is still something he has to learn. And therefore, we are investing our time to make him better.
Do you see a player who has a point to prove as well? Is hungry to relaunch his career after a couple of disappointing seasons, perhaps?
Yeah, he's not the loudspeaker, if you want. He's taking the responsibility on the pitch when he has the ball. Definitely, he wants to show his qualities there. But I think to get a big impact in the future in football, he has to add a few parts to his game what he hadn't have so far. I think, and we will help him doing this.
A lot of interest towards the end of the window. I think Patrick Vieira personally tried to hijack his move here. What does it say about Southampton that he was willing to turn his back on Crystal Palace and Vieira to join you?
I think maybe because of the whole package we can offer for such a player. Hard-working, a lot of investing club in what means in the individual qualities of a player, taking a lot of time to make them better, and invest in a lot of input to help them to work on their deficits and to make them a better player. And I think this is something what you definitely get here. I don't know if you get the highest money or interest from other from outside. Here we are a little bit under the radar here sometimes, but this is not a problem for us. It makes it easier for the young players to develop, and I'm very often the person that tries to keep the interest very on a low level, because it is never helpful when you speak after every good game or after one good game immediately about how a big star he will be one time. Let them. Meanwhile, in football, it's not enough it's enough to play 3-4 good games and then you are immediately a superstar. This is not how a football should be. You should work for a whole year and show a whole year that you are performing on the highest level, and then we can speak up, or then we can rate these players, not after 3 or 4 games. And this is why I try to keep it very on a low level, because it is not helpful for the players.
So I guess just finally, with that in mind, an important character trait is going to be the fact he needs to be humble, because obviously he's come from Arsenal, he's played for England. He's almost like he's starting out again now, so he can't have any big time tendencies.
No, that's right. I think he has also some relationship with some players. They are here, and he knows from earlier days, so it is also helpful. And I think we can definitely make him better.